All right, hello, welcome everyone, welcome everybody. Today is the Friday's morning session, about to start. Yeah, so right away there is this nice little sell-side liquidity pool that I like generally to be rated in at the opening. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So this is the 9:30. Opening range gap high, and the opening range gap low is here, which gives 50% about here. So that's the initial drawn liquidity. Okay. All right. So 50%, around 120 handles or so from the opening. That's fair enough of a range. We've seen a lot of run up prior the 9:30 also. So I kinda prefer to focus on the sell side here, and yeah, possibly the opening range gap consecutive encroachment. So that's something to watch right now. On the upside though, there is quite a nice pool of buy side liquidity right there. That's kinda sweet, kinda smooth. So that might be an area on the upside that it might want to gravitate towards first. But we'll see. I like the initial run off of this 849 SIBI. Lower half respected nicely, traded lower. Now a little bit of retracement here, but generally it looks promising to at least try to clear this out here, I guess. But yeah, again, all-time high scenarios, or all-time high scenario, Friday. It wouldn't be something surprising if we saw a new all-time high today. But so far, for the first 30 minutes to an hour, a more bearish stance would be reasonable with that premium opening range gap, I guess, especially with that sell side liquidity pool. So now we are trading back into this reclaimed bearish fair value gap here. So let's see what we do around it here. So far nicely traded to the lower portion of that. There is this bullish fair value gap right there. that offered more lift. So consecutive encroachment here touched. This could have become a potential inversion for valley gap if it were to go below it, but now as we are exploring the upper half like this, I'm more resilient to this idea. But the bodies stayed inside of the lower half. That's nice. No body close on the 1 minute inside of it also. So I'm watching if this inefficiency here could become a potential inversion for valley gap right here. It would line well with the potential draw lower here. Okay, price closed below it, so any touch to this would be viewed as a potential short on inversion here. Okay, it's touching to it here. It needs to reject it if it's good. It already closed in the upper half. I don't like to see that generally, so I would wait for it to leave it and then touch into it again, I guess. So now it's left it, and let's see if it can touch again. That would be like a good feedback if we... Alright, so we got the touch. Failed to reach consecutive encroachment yet. Now it could start moving away, in my opinion, if it's good. Now it could really start moving lower, I believe. Alright, back into it with the body like this. That's not ideal, but last chance for it to actually move away if it's solid. Okay, so now off to the races. Let's see if we can actually run towards the sell-side liquidity here and maybe see some stretch lower. But yeah, I mean too much time inside of this inefficiency here for my liking. Way too much time. It went above it. Welcome, Mr. Erdogan. How are you? It's Friday. I hope you're doing well. Alright, so it's stretching higher above this inefficiency. That makes it, if the upper half is sensitive, I would say the buy side liquidity here is more likely at this moment. So now it's trading back into it. We'll see. Also, this premium wick on this side was traded above. It should act as measure of discount here also. So let's see if we can see that discount sensitivity to run the relative equal highs buy side here. Okay. So that should be like about it, in my opinion. And now leave to the upside. No, 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 my friend. I'm happy to see you in the chat. But yeah. Right, this already is somewhat problematic in here. Not something I would like to see. We're already too much time being spent around here. Alright, it traded to the consecutive encroachment here, respected that with the bodies. Now it should leave and not come back to this area here, in my opinion. So I like this initial lift here, and it should just smash right on through the buy side without like wasting too much time. I would say no more comebacks into this area in here required at this moment. If it does, then it really becomes problematic for the way it will deliver, and then it's likely high resistance. So yeah, I don't like this return back into it here. I don't think it's any necessary. Now tapping into the lower half of this inefficiency. Trading to the low, but not body close below it yet. Alright, so it broke below it again. I'm watching whether it can offer any return to it as a premium. trades into this inversion for value gap here, like this. Let's see if it offers any like displacement away afterwards. This could be sending it towards the sell side here. Nonetheless, I'm not kinda trusting it that much so far with the price action that we've seen. I would prefer to see it come back to this lower half and offer some premium sensitivity there. Then if you start breaking lower, then that's more apt to go lower, I believe. But yeah, we did attach to the low of it. Couldn't really get much more outside of that, so let's see. Okay, deeper punch into it. I'm watching the lower half for any premium sensitivity. Okay, now if it trades below this inversion here, I would be more apt to look at this as a potential resistance here. So now as it's trading into it, I would expect it to actually push the price away from it, but it's not showing too much respect. The body is staying inside of it. Okay. I'm noting those relatively cool lows in here. They are kinda too clean. Another touch to the lower half, only with a week. The body stayed way below it, and now we see some measure of displacement, but still a lot of back and forth price action in here. Not necessarily offering me anything that I would like to use. So it kind of already traded to it once here, moved away, second time here, moved away, and didn't really progress anything. So this kind of looks like we might get some choppy price action near term. So let's see. The third attempt trading into this here. Already exploring the upper half, so that's not what I would like to see for shorts. Alright, so again it traded to the high of it, now it's leaving it to the downside. so no bodies in the upper half are permitted at this moment. Only a return to the lower half would be somewhat reasonable. But yeah, because it's spending so much time trading back and forth with it or around it, I don't really trust it. Okay, so it closed above the consecutive encroachment. Now if it will leave it, I would suspect that it might make a run for the buy side liquidity here. That would be most reasonable at this point, I guess. So now we closed above it. I'm watching the upper half to be really nicely responsive here. So we traded down into it. Consecutive encroachment reached, tapped into the lower half, sorry. It should reject that and move away outside of it. That would be then somewhat constructive for running that buy side, but again we are below it. So this so far since 9:30 I would consider as low probability conditions. Not really offering anything I would like. But now we are heading into the 950 to 1010 macro, and this is the time when price might show willingness to move away from this. I don't have particular bias, but I like the opening range gap consecutive encroachment, certainly the sell side here for the morning session as a potential draw. Other than that, I really don't have much of a strong bias. Yeah, it's Friday. We moved a lot already. We are at all-time highs. It's really like it could continue, it could also not. So not a very easy position to frame a very solid bias, but you can, I guess, try to frame some like intraday little draws on liquidity that make sense. So yeah, the buy side liquidity here on the upside definitely makes sense. So I would note that level 27,268 even as a point of reference, because at some point today we could definitely make an attempt to clear that out. But yeah, I'm submitting that we will see the at least attempt to dive into the opening range gap. So I'm watching this SIBI here. After price nicely moved away from the inversion, now trading into the SIBI that could offer a run into the sell side in my mind. So that's pretty nice. Sell side in the crosshairs, and there we go. It touched the sell side. So that was like a nice little scalp, I would say, potentially 30 handles or so. And now let's see if we can dig any deeper towards the opening range gap consecutive encroachment. But nonetheless, the sell side liquidity here that I mentioned was just tagged with this run, and it was basically framed upon on this inversion fair value gap here. See how price traded into it here, failed to reach the consecutive encroachment, and then it broke lower, forming a SIBI here like this. So as it traded into this, that was a potential run there. So far the cleanest price run that was offered since the opening, and it was also during the 950 to 1010 macro, so it was linked to that time element and price element and the draw element, that is the opening range gap consecutive encroachment still. So nice dive below it, and we'll see whether the 50% gap closure will be in play today. I wouldn't personally bet a farm on it that it will go there, but that's definitely something to watch. So I'm eyeballing that we just traded to the upper quadrant of the opening range gap. I can measure that, but yeah, we reached the upper quadrant and now we are rejecting it. And yeah, let's still see whether it offers any potential to go lower. But if that would be it at the upper quadrant, I wouldn't be too surprised. But then I would revert to the buy side liquidity here. So after it proves that it fails to really offer any continuation lower, then I would say the buy side here should be the next potential draw on liquidity. So yeah, these highs definitely seem way too smooth on the upside here. Alright, so it's trading back to the original fair value gap that it sold off with the biggest speed element. So yeah, we could see some sensitivity around it. Right, let's see. The fact that it's reacting this strongly here really warrants potential run on the buy side. So let's see, but we also see some like more volatility in here. So I rather be careful. Because they might be playing some games. Alright, so I'm watching this little inefficiency here. Tapped into it, initial reaction into opposing SIBI, and it fails here already, kinda. So let me revert to this inefficiency here as more salient or more important one. Right, trading to this little fair value gap here. I'm watching the body staying in the upper half. That's nice. We did the damage. That's fine. Let's see if it can move away from it here. Okay, that looks like a stop run doing damage here, so if it's good it has to start running. Then this inefficiency here could become a potential inversion for value gap. So let's see, if we close above it, I'm expecting this to act as inversion. We are kind of trapped in between two arrays here, a discount and premium one. Let's see which one will give way. I'm assuming or anticipating that this could become a bullish inversion for value gap, in line with the buy sell liquidity here as a draw. So let's see. I like the little institutional order French drill here. I like that. Okay, now we close above it, so let's see if this actually will act as inversion. Okay, first candle already cancelling the idea. No inversion. Right, let's see another attempt. If we close above it, yes we do. So let's see, the upper half needs to offer a nice lift. Okay, let's see if we can displace. Already trading to the downside, that's not it. Okay, another attempt. It's really sloppy in here. Much time being spent around it also. So a red flag already. But yeah, still sticking to the idea. Right, so we closed above it. Let's see if we can give any touch to it. It didn't quite give a touch. Just run one more further, but it formed a Bessie here. So I'm watching that closely. But yeah, it kind of looks like it's like ready to do the run on the buy side here quickly. Right, so it's respecting the lower half with the bodies here. I'm watching this little BC. We're trading down into it to the consecutive encroachment. Preferably it moves away right now. No hesitation, just move away. Otherwise it becomes problematic. And we might see a run lower. This is very sloppy price action in here. It's actually very, very sloppy. So last chance in here. I like the body staying in the upper half. That's good. No return back into this blue shaded box needed. Immediate rebalance technically. So all the signatures are there to run the buy side here in the next couple of minutes. Yeah, so speed and acceleration now towards the buy side. Alright, so at this point the buy side should be just gone. So yeah, this portion here, omega sloppy, very difficult read, but then after it moved away from this inversion here, nice respect on this BC, immediate rebalance, and then a run towards the buy side here. Yet to be taken out, but I'm expecting still a push above it would be reasonable. The upper half of this 1 minute SIBI, as we traded above it, should act now as support here. So losing the upper half is pretty not welcome. So touch into it here and run the buy side. That's how I'm thinking about it. Yeah, and now just take it. Right, I don't like this hesitation in here. That's pretty suspect. They took it all the way up to the high here and stopped. Now dropping lower. Now this becomes kinda 50-50. Alright, so last attempt. I would like to see it run from here, if possible. I don't like to see it. I don't like to see any resistance at the high of this inefficiency. So now it should just take off, because it did this deeper retracement, run short-term stops. It failed to touch or reach into this Bessie here. That's good. And now nothing should stop it. Okay, so I guess it could make a touch to the high of this, but nobody should close below the midpoint. If it does, then that's again some shenanigans. Right, so now move. It booked 50%. It should be moving away. Okay, that's not what I like to see here. It's trading to the consecutive encroachment of this week here. So moving away from it nicely would be welcome, I guess. That's pretty good. As far as it doesn't need to offer any retracements here. That's the thing. It can just keep on going. a small little Fair Valley gap there. I would like to see just touch and then run. Let's see if we can get that. We got the touch, and now I would expect it to run. Okay, so far so good. So I assume the buy side will be taken out now. It should not come back below this low though. Okay, that's not what I wanted to see. Yeah, it became really sloppy in this area here again. Watching the Bessie here again. We returned back into it, took the stops, but it respected the upper half. So let's see if we can offer any run out of this. Yeah, that could have been interesting for the 5 second here. I like this Bessie, trade into it only with the wicks, body staying higher, so that's pretty strong. A Bessie here on 5 second, it should offer a more lift to the upside here, I would say. So far the bodies are really good. Alright, this one is not necessarily. So that kind of brings potential for more sloppiness. But yeah, it traded to the consecutive encroachment of the week again, reclaimed that. But every time it starts running just a little bit, it's coming back inside of the range. I'm really looking for it to spread its wings kinda, because in this area, in this range, what it does right now. That's kind of sloppy and slow again. Nothing really too obvious. I'm still fishing for a potential run into the buy sell liquidity, as it's very smooth, but nothing really in here offers me that idea. Already 2 times traded into this Bessie here, so the third time could easily give way and trade through it. Yeah, so the third time is trading right on through it. Let's see, that might become an inversion here. Back to this inefficiency, not really respecting it so far. The bodies are stopping close to the consecutive encroachment. Again, it's spending some time inside of this one. I don't really like the precision around it here. So where is the sell side currently? The sell side resides below this low. I'm watching this closely now, as it was a bullish fair value gap here and here. Now we traded below it, so I want to see whether it offers any premium sensitivity to it. So far it does. I'm also noting the bodies respecting the opening range gap high perfectly. Okay, it returns to it again. But only on a weak basis. It made a run on the short-term buy side and now quickly rejecting. So far it looks kinda bearish now. It looks kinda sell side favored. But yeah, we would like to leave below this inefficiency too. So yeah, so far it looks like they left the buy side super clean and now just running lower towards sell side and trapping anyone who was forcing the buy side to be taken out, I guess. Alright, I like the closure below this here. Alright, let's see. Now I want to see this inefficiency here to act as reclaimed bearish fair value gap, so we shouldn't see any bodies in the upper half of that. So let's see. I do favor the sell side liquidity right now. And if that's the case, I like the reaction here already around this PD array, and now I want to see this one offer resistance too. So far price wasn't even able to trade into it. We'll see, that might change, but if it would stay like this and start breaking lower, that would be indicative of very like weakness. And the sell side liquidity at 27,130 with potential slide into the consecutive encroachment of the opening range gap, kinda like an idea. But now we get the touch to this inefficiency here. It needs to offer resistance. Okay, that's not it. That's not it. So now as it traded to the high of it, it would need to leave it and then lower half should be respected, and then we might see a run into the sell side. If that doesn't happen, then I wouldn't do nothing about it here. Okay, so far price is even failing to trade outside of it. Okay, trades are above it. That's fine. I'm still watching this area in here. And now this could act as a potential bullish inversion for value gap. The buy side still stays where it is, very smooth. So if it were to change the characteristics here and offer now nice discount sensitivity, then yeah, that could be a potential run on the buy side. But let's see. So far we are trading to the lower half of this bearish inversion for value gap, and so far price is repelling lower. So now this is key area in here to see whether price finds any sensitivity. So far no. So far it displaces nicely, and with this type of price action here, I do think that sell side is still very, very playable here. I like the displacement out of this lower half. That's definitely something I like to see here. But now again, let's see if this offers any resistance here. Right, that's already not something I would like to see, because it closed the SIBI. It took the sell side here into this inefficiency. This might be bullish now, I believe. Okay, it went above it, so it should go back to the original function. Let's see if it even gives a touch to it. But now the buy side definitely goes back to the potential. Huge displacement here, but yeah, I don't like to chase this type of price run, so let's see if it can retrace back to some measure of discount. I like this upper half of this inefficiency there. In my opinion, it should not be closing this BC at any point, so institutional or referential drill would be just fine. if it offered it here. Okay, this kinda reminds me of a bull flag in here. I would really like to see it give a touch to this institutional order for entry drill here. Maybe to the reclaimed bullish fair value gap here. And that could send us to the buy side. That's something that I would look for. Let's see if that's if that has any validity to it. Interesting barcode price action here. Yeah, really interesting how it's consolidating like this in here. The buy side is the go-to idea with this price action. This might be a bull flag that actually works. It might be, but let's see. So this is like a block of a balanced price range here. So trading above it on a closing basis, we should not see price come back below the 50% of it. So that's like really balanced price action here. And it does actually start running towards the buy side here. Interesting enough. So yeah, I assume it's going to run the buy set here. I assume that's going to be the case. I will be surprised if it fails here right now. All right, and we got the buy set here. Very interesting how it delivered though. Very interesting. A rather sloppy session after all, like really condensed. But there we got the buy side. Alright, looks like we are pushing back inside the range initially. So I would watch this. But yeah, the fact that they took out the buy set here like this and now rejecting. Interesting though. But yeah, at this moment, at this point, I don't really know what might be next on the plate. So I guess let's do the last macro, the 10:50 11:10 last macro for the morning session. We'll see what it will present. Note how the bodies are respecting this 1 minute. I should change the color. Inversion for value gap. Perfect. And price is nicely, smoothly moving away. Inversing this little fair value gap here. So I would assume a potential run on the high here could be in the cards. that might lead to another range expansion into the buy side here. Okay, failing at this to offer any discount sensitivity, so back to the original function here. But what do you mean money glitch? What do you do specifically? With what do you mess up? High risk to reward. But you mean you enter like too early, too late? What do you do? What's the problem? Alright, so we swept this high here. So is there a chance that you are rushing, like before the entry actually forms? You are anticipating it? The main question would be, do the other entries kind of like like do you have like one model that you are trading, or are these entries are just all the time something different? Because if it's like one model, then it should have like a filter mechanism that you can like filter the poorer entries. It's hard for me to like really give you a good insight without seeing what exactly have you done. But yeah, sometimes it's probably the time element, maybe ahead of macro, maybe ahead of kill zone, maybe ahead of news. Other times the price is not there yet, even though the time is there. That can also lead to issues. Sometimes the market conditions are just unfavorable too. We've seen a lot of manipulation lately. Last couple of days we really saw a lot of wild spikes. Yeah, I see. So if you want, you can like DM me a chart with what you are trying to do, and maybe then I will be able to help better. But yeah, if you stick to the rules, if you apply yourself to all of the rules of your model, then you know, maybe that's just like a operator mistake that can be fixed with some simple stuff. But yeah, as you said, if your bias is correct most of the time, that's already like a huge advantage, and should be rather fixable. But yeah, breaking into new highs in here. Another pool of smooth bias liquidity is here, but I'll be honest, I don't really like anything at this point. It doesn't look any clean in my opinion in here. Yeah, this session itself today was pretty rough, I would say, in terms of price delivery. Yet right now it's just taking off, and yeah, it's Friday, so I will not push into this. I guess next week we go again. So yeah, 11 o'clock approaching. I think that's going to be it, or let me see this. Many time buys had taken, now coming back into the range. I like the relatively cool lows in here on 15 second. This is not jade, I guess. What do you mean, Nekobasu? Oh yeah, I see. I was thinking that you are referring to that, but yeah, I wasn't sure. Yeah, unless it looks like it will take the buy set here, and after that I really don't have a horse in this race. And yeah, I think that's going to be it for me for this week. It was a pleasure, a harder one for me, to be honest, because yeah, I get some flu or something. I'm not feeling very well, therefore my performance was slipping for sure. I was feeling that, but yeah, nonetheless, we grind, we keep pushing, and we improve every day. So I wish you guys a pleasant weekend. I wish you guys lots of rest and family time, preferably, or do whatever you like. And see you guys next week. I might do some review or analysis per Telegram this weekend. Maybe I do. All right.